Hello and welcome, Adam Thomas from Balancing Touch Reflexology. So good to see you and thanks for joining me today. Today, I want to explore reflexology gait points. So first of all, what is your gait, right? It's a big, not a big word at all. It's a small word. Gait, right? What is gait? Some people talk about, your running gait's off or your gait is off. What does that mean? So it's a word that means your pattern of movement, of walking, right? A person's pattern of locomotion, right? Movement, right? What this is essentially going to do is help you get a little bit better gait. And what I mean by that is there's so much involved in your gait, okay? So, for example, if you have stiff ankles, that's going to affect your gait. That's going to affect the pattern that you walk, right? It's going to affect your knees and it's going to affect your hips, right? And everything else. So if your ankles are stiff, everything upstream from that is going to be affected. It's going to affect your gait, right? A normal gait is something that moves nice and there's no pain involved and there's a nice sort of glide to it. Just by being right-handed, it sort of shifts our balance off a little bit, right? So there is no real perfect gait. So they call it sort of like normal gait, right? Which is, being able to move forward with ease, right? That's basically what it comes down to. So if you have knee problems, that's also going to affect the way that your pattern of moving, right? If you have stiff hips, that's going to also affect your pattern of moving, which is gait, right? So there's so much involved in gait, right? It seems sort of really simple, but just moving your leg and setting your foot down, and if your feet are sticking outward or inward and stuff like that, that can affect everything upstream, right? How you place your foot. And a lot of it can come from hip issues, right? The way that your hip is not able to allow your foot to be put in a specific place, right? And then also when your foot touches the ground, there's some information, there's little sensors in your feet, proprioception sort of receptors that send information back and forth, right, to allow you to feel what kind of textures you're walking on and things like that. And so gait can be affected by shoes that you wear, right? If you're wearing shoes with a lot of material between your sensors of your feet, right, being able to feel the ground, and the ground, right, all the material in between. So if you're wearing like high heel shoes, that's an extreme sort of example, but you have like this, depending on your heel, you have all this space between and you can't really feel the ground, right? So there's basically like wearing blinders on your eyes, right? So I like to think of your feet as sensors, right? As being able to perceive the ground. What these points I'm going to share with you are really good for is allowing those sensors to kind of wake up, right? And the good thing about these is they're really easy to find because they tend to be quite tender. Our feet don't get as much movement as they used to, or in different cultures where shoes are kind of not as important, right, and things like that. So, but here in North America, we put on shoes, it's snowy outside and all this stuff. So these points tend to be really sore because they need to be worked, right? So they're easy to find, that's a good thing. Another thing is they're quick to do, and they're also quick to show to clients. So I really like to pass this on to clients. And so when would you want to work gait points? Well, I like to work them all the time, right? During a session. They tend to be a bit sore, but any client who comes to me or anybody and they're talking about being clumsy or they're bumping into things, this is sort of a time to work these things. So I kind of think of these gait points is kind of like a cat's whiskers, right? So they kind of keep you balanced, and they sort of allow you to find where you are in space, right? So they're really great that way. So yeah, I use them during a session whenever I think that the client needs them. I tend to put them more towards the end of a session because I want to get the major work done that I need to in a session, and then these are kind of like little added bonuses. Plus, they tend to be sore in general. So I like to, not start with them to freak out the clients, right? I don't want to do that. So I tend to push them towards the end. So anyway, let's get into showing you where these points are. So I'll show you with one of my feet here. And sorry, this toe has fallen off, so it doesn't look very good. But I'll show you where they are here. They're going to be found, there's one point right here, okay? Found right there. The next one is going to be found on the inside, right there, okay? Next one across here, next one across here, next one across here, and the last one is on the outside here. So, how do we work them? When I'm working them, I can go right down like this, and I can start here, and I do a nice little push in, and I add my other fingers here, but really the pressure is with my index finger here, and I'm going to push in and see how I'm adding my other fingers as support, almost like on top, and I'm going to push straight in, like that, straight in, but I'm actually pushing, let's see here, kind of on an angle up towards the point there, okay? So you can see right there, pushing in, okay? Then I'm going to move and find in between the webbing here, I'm going to feel for where that knuckle is on the inside. So I'm looking for this point on the inside of that knuckle, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. If you're watching this right now, just reach down and work along with me, and you'll find that there's like definitely a tender spot right here, okay? So it's not at the webbing, it's further down on the other side of that knuckle, okay? And I like to just work it a little bit. You can do like as we do with other reflexes, you can kind of do a set of 3, 1, 2, 3, okay? 1, 2, 3, and third set, 1, 2, 3, okay? And then move over to the next one, okay? And feel for that knuckle, okay? It's harder now because you can't really see, but they're in a line, okay? So if you go here, on the bottom of that knuckle there, and then the bottom of this knuckle, it's a line all the way across, and they're in the webbing. So if we're on this one again, feel around, 1, 2, 3, can move over to the next one, feel around there, 1, 2, 3, move over to that one, it's going to be down a little bit further, 1, 2, 3, and then on the outside, I can switch hands and use this one, 1, 2, 3, okay? So that is the gait points, it's that simple, right? But really, to understand this, reach down and grab your own feet and really work in there. So what I would do if I wanted to work this is, there's a couple options, right? So if they're really sensitive, I might do one set here, so 1, 2, 3, move over to that set, 1, 2, 3, move to the next one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good, and then I might do some other reflexes in this area, and then I'll come back and hit it again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? All the way across to there. Okay? So we have point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5, point 6. All the way across here. Okay? Gait points. And then do some other reflexes and come back and do that. Also with this one, I mentioned already, but it's really great to give as home play. So if the client has a bit of a reaction going, wow, that's really sensitive, then what you can say is something along the lines of, these are points that really help you with your balance and, you can try and explain gait to them or whatever. But you know, this is what it's good for. It's for keeping balance and helping, you know, your brain know that your feet exist, because a lot of times your brain forgets that you have feet and it works properly, right? So this really kind of wakes up those points in your feet that allow for, you know, quick adjustments and movement when you're walking around, especially on uneven surfaces, right? But we don't get a lot of that kind of exposure anymore because everything's flat. So you can say to the client that, you know, oh, they're a bit tender, so yeah, work these out. So work them, I don't know, 3 times a day. And you can just say you can do a set of 3, right? 3 times. So 9 each time you hit all these little points, and it's really great. So that is the gait points, okay? Again, really good if you reach down and touch your own feet, because then you'll understand exactly where the points are. Just remember to be on that side of the knuckle and feel for that. You'll feel it. It's really tender, okay? And move over. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, okay? Or you don't have to do sets of 3s. You can just really work that whole area. If you're not sure exactly where the point is, you can just work that whole area, right? And so you can use a little bit of a kind of a rocking technique. And what I'm doing here is I'm pushing in. Pressure is also on my thumb and my fingers. And I'm doing a nice massaging type action, okay? So I'm not rubbing the skin. What I'm doing is getting right in there, clamping down, and then moving, okay? Because if you're just rubbing the skin, it feels awkward. So get in there, push in, and up and down. Make sure that you're not digging the corner of your nail in, because that's uncomfortable, and you can hurt your client. So just make sure that you're sort of on the tip of the pad of your finger. That's also a nice little tip. And to add in your whole hand, okay? This gives you a lot more strength when you add in all the other fingers. So you don't have to push as hard, right? But there you go. Anyway, I hope that helps. Yeah, let me know if you're having any type of balance issues and stuff like that. That if this little tip kind of helps you out. Add it into your practice if you want. It's a really great one to wake up those feet and help your clients with better gait, hopefully. So yeah, until next time, this is Adam from Balancing Touch. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again. Remember to keep those feet happy. Thanks so much for watching today. If you're interested in reflexology, this might be a channel to subscribe to. If you haven't already, hit, or better yet, step on that bell icon, and then you'll be notified when the next video is coming out. If you're looking for a reflexology chart, head on over to balancingtouch.ca. We have created a bunch of visually exciting, easy to understand reflexology charts for you. And if you have some more time, check out some other videos. Till next time, this is Adam Thomas from balancingtouch.ca. See you later.